Oh man, I used to be such a worrier, honestly. I used to be crippled by anxiety. Even when I was at school, right? I'm nearly 40 years old now. So any of you that remember WWE wrestling, you'll remember the Ultimate Warrior. Well, my friends used to call me the Ultimate Warrior, all right? Just taking a quick break now with my wife. We're just out on the Cretan coastline, and I want to share some value with you guys today and hopefully share some perspective on how to deal with worry and anxiety. And this is especially for those people that want to improve their life. So if you want to improve your health, your wealth, your relationships, your finances, your happiness, whatever it may be, I'm going to teach you how to look at life like a chessboard. Okay, so I want you to stay with me on this one. So imagine if we look at life as a chessboard, okay? So you've got the black squares, you've got the white squares. Hold up, my wife trying to get the pram down. So if we look at these white squares, right, we might perceive the white squares as positive, right, okay? And then the black squares as negative, okay? So if we look at the last 6 months of your life and look at it as like a chessboard, right? I hope we can both agree that if you hadn't have stepped on the black squares, you wouldn't be grateful for the white squares. So that's the first lesson, right? Which is gratitude. Because you're in life, you're either going to be the hammer or you're going to be the nail, and that's going to constantly change. Or as someone said to me, you're either going to be the bird or you're going to be the statue, right? And you either win in life or you pay for lessons. There's no failure. So over those let's just say the last 6 months of your life, you've trod on some black squares, you've trod on some white ones, and you may be in a position right now where you're standing on a perceived white square and you're scared to take the next step in case it turns into a black one. What also is crippling you now with anxiety, right? This is what used to happen to me, is not moving from that square and the worry of that white square turning into a black one, right? Because things seem too good to be true. But what about if we reframe this? And what about if we reframe this? It completely changes your perspective and you're able to take more action. Because let's just say I stand you in front of a chessboard the size of a tennis court and I blindfold you. And I say, you're going to walk from one side to the other. Well, look at it this way. There is a 50% maximum chance of you stepping on a white square. And there's also a 50% maximum chance of you stepping on a black square. So it's 50-50. And over the last 6 months, you've trod and walked and stood and walked through all of these perceived black and white squares. And you've associated them with positive and negative, good or bad, fear and love, failure and success, and you've gone on this emotional roller coaster, which is extremely tiring. It's extremely demoralizing at times because there's only so much challenge that you can go through. There's only so much challenge you can take before you think to yourself, I'm just going to stop or I'm not going to take any more risks. And I totally get it. But what if moving forward, instead of looking at the last 6 months and framing it in the same way for the next 6 months, we completely change that like that? So instead of associating good and bad with these squares, instead of associating positives and negatives, instead of associating highs and lows, we just change it and reframe it and just say, these are events and they are just part of the journey. I'm going to say it one more time. Instead of it being good or bad, instead of these experiences being positive or negative, we just say that these are just events and they are part of the journey. How amazing would that be? And what that did for me is it freed me. It freed me from anxiety. It freed me from procrastination. It freed me from analysis paralysis. It freed me from always being attached to the outcomes and the outcomes I was getting and the goals. Like this video, for example, like what if this stuff doesn't get many views? What if the message doesn't come across well? What if I've got a bogey hanging from my nose while I'm doing the video and I don't even notice, right? There's all these thoughts that go around. And when we're living in fear of what the outcome may be, or when we're living life and we're allowing our environment to dictate how we feel, we can lower our energy, we can lower our vibration, we can lower our frequency. And if you've been following my channel for a while now, you'll realize that energy is everything and energy is frequency. And if you change your frequency, you can change your life. And if you're going into this fear and this overwhelm and this anxiety, you're going to be on this low vibrational plane. And when you're on that low vibration, that low frequency, you're just going to get more of it back from the universe. So what you can actually do is by reframing this as from good and bad to just events and a part of the journey, then you can actually let go of giving your energy and giving your power to everyone and everything else for how it makes you feel. You can stop giving permission to others and other people and other things to make you feel a certain way. You can transcend the emotion, which then frees up the energy so you can put it back into you to do what you're here for, to live your best life, to live your purpose, to live with fulfillment. And this moves into one of the laws, right? The law of polarity. Because everything in life has a complementary opposite. You can't have highs without lows. You wouldn't know what hot felt like if you'd never been cold. And you can't have praise without criticism. And it goes on and on and on. You can't have good without bad. It's like with my business. If I take on 100 new customers in the next 30 days, I can't expect all of them to pay on time without some of them not. I can't expect all their payments to go through instantly without some declining. If this video, let's just say this video today, gets 1 million views, okay? And by the way, I'm not attached to it, but let's just say it does. Then I'm gonna get a shit ton of praise in the comments. But I'm also gonna get a shit ton of criticism as well. People saying, oh, this and that and the other, I'll probably take the piss out of my beard, the way I speak, whatever it is. And I used to be someone that used to let that get to me. I used to be someone, sorry, that get to me so much that it stopped me from doing what I wanted to do. It stopped me from taking risks. It stopped me from trying new things. But now I understand that everything has a complementary opposite. You can't have one without the other. And instead of looking at life as this chessboard of goods and bads, highs and lows, positive and negatives, I've just learned to reframe them as they are just events and they are part of the journey. And that has allowed me and many of my clients that I work with take more action every single day, move the needle in their life and get more done in 12 months than they have done in the last decade. So I'd really love to hear your feedback from that. I'd love to know if that helped you today. And I'm a bit wary of time because my battery's running out on my phone. I need to get more prepared for these. But I'm gonna go spend some time now with my lovely daughter and my lovely wife. And we're gonna enjoy the evening. I'd love to hear your feedback. Don't forget to like and comment and subscribe, turn on notifications, because these videos are gonna keep coming every single day for you, because it is my purpose. It's why I'm here on this planet. I have been through what people would perceive to be hell. I am grateful for it because I believe I've been put through all of those perceived challenges and ups and downs and highs and lows, because it's made me a stronger person. It's made me a more grateful person. It's made me a more centered and fulfilled person. And it's made me feel inspired every day and attached to, massively attached to, just making sure that I can just affect someone's life and leave them slightly better off than when I found them every single day. And this is the purpose of this channel. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.